Hello there, this is Cookies. I've got yet another sub as EA Vanheim. I told myself I wouldn't play any more EA Vanheim, and yet here I am, subbing into another EA Vanheim. I picked this one for a few reasons. One, it was Meep looking for the sub. I just played a game recently with Meep. He was the EA Vanheim in the False Pretender series where I was playing EA Satis. And in this game, he's playing Arco, looking like he's about to win. And they were looking for a sub for this pretty dire Vanheim position. That leads into the second reason why I chose this game, and that's because it's sufficiently dire enough. So I've already heard from a couple of the other players. I'm a few turns into this, but not too far. And I'd heard that Meep is probably about to win, but also, um, yeah, I just like doing capital defenses, and this looked like a fun capital defense. So it was met two of my qualifications. Got to play with somebody I've met before. It looked sufficiently dire where maybe I could just have a couple of fun battles and then be eliminated. And then also, I think this is one that should wrap up before Dom 6 comes out. And that's something that I am kind of subconsciously paying attention to. I'm okay with one or two games going over, but I don't want to be in three or four games going over when Dom 6 comes out. I'd like to be able to jump straight into a game or two. And this looks like a game that's, number one, not going to take a lot of time, and number two, has the high potential to be over by the time Dom 6 comes out. So now there's a number of things about this game, and generally when I sub into a game, I can kind of figure out what the previous player was doing and what they were going for. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit confused about this one. It is an intermediate game, so theoretically this person has won a game before, but maybe they've never played Vanheim before. It is a reasonably strong bless. So we've got Barkskin and Fire Res, which is a very good combo to put on Vanhears. We've got Blood Bond, which is really good until it's not on Vanhears, because you can use Blood Bond to proc the Berserker trait, but it also shares damage, so if they get hit by meteors, it can be really bad. And we've got shock resistance, which is really good, so we could potentially do Wrathful Skies. We have magic weapons, which is great on Vanhears. And we have morale +1, which is, I guess, something. I guess they just had a point left over from doing Fire Res 10, and that's what they decided to put it in, which is fine. But when you've got Berserkers, I don't know if morale is the thing you necessarily want to pick up, but I don't know. We'll leave that part of it alone. And then I guess that kind of dovetails into some other stuff. So let's talk about the current situation. So when I first looked at this turn, I believe I had just this fort, not under siege. This all belonged to Sarmatia. And then these two forts were under siege by Sarmatia. And Meat played the last turn and picked up all this stuff. And so we're planning to go ahead and break siege. We've got an army, we've got some Vanhears, we have some dwarfs to put Legions of Steel, Strength of Giants, we have some birds, we have a bunch of air elemental and Valkyrie casters. We've got fog warriors, and we have storm on this army. Now, if you remember from my Satis series, I have recently learned that you cannot break siege with an immobile. So Yagoo, best girl of all, is going to stay in the fort and just be a pretender. And then this guy, I'm not sure how he fits into this break siege attempt, so he's just going to stay at home. Maybe we can site search later with him. And then the two Sarmatian armies, we've got some Long Dead and Lamias, not very scary. And we have a bunch of foul spawn, Oreopatas, and Lamias, which probably have some Skelly spam mages. We pinged, Meep went ahead and pinged this, and we found 2 warrior sorceresses and a spirit guide. Nothing crazy. Presumably a couple of thugs. Go ahead and check them. No gear. And we have a Frostbrand thug. Okay, nothing crazy. And then we've got a bunch of Oreopata, some more Lamias, and some foul spawn over here. So presumably some mages doing Skelly spam. We'll find out. We're going to send 3 Van Jarls, each with 9 to 13 Van Heers. And we're going to go ahead and try to break this. We'll break the siege if we can, but otherwise we'll find out what's here. We're going to sneak these guys down here, so we have the option to attack either. They can, I don't know, research doesn't do us any good if we're losing forts. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and break siege here. This guy is going to move and patrol onto this fort, because I've heard we're also at war with Abyssia, and there was some big battle with Abyssia. And then these guys are going to patrol, see what they catch. I'm completely broke, so I can't put PD anywhere. And then that'll dovetail into the last part of what I'm going to talk about in this one, which is I'm not entirely sure what this player was doing all game. We still have Indies in this lake. Vanheim doesn't have the easiest time getting underwater, but they can forge pills of water breathing. So you can send a thugged Van Jarl and a pack of Van here under the water, and you can probably eliminate Amber Clan. I'm sure there have been mercenaries that have come through where you could use them to take out Amber Clan. There's this, whatever the hell this is, that probably could have been cleared a long time ago. So we've got Indies in our cap circle. We've got this pond in our cap circle. We've got, if it weren't for the raid out, we've got an absurd amount of troops considering our income. We've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 provinces. And in terms of provinces on the province graph, that looks like about half of where we ended expansion with. So, and oh, not only that, but we've only built 3 forts all game, and we lost one of them. So somewhere along the line, even accounting for all this new stuff we just got, we've lost 8 provinces and a fort. My guess is maybe this fort, and then some combination of these outer provinces. So maybe these 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know, something like that. We probably had okay expansion. But then we never really did anything, it looks like. So gym income was, yeah, and that's the other thing. We've only site searched 5 provinces the whole game. I don't see any others that are site searched. So our gym income has been terrible. And we lost it all, and then we just got it back with this rating. The research has been trending, like, slowing down, it looks like. And that coincides with the army graph with a large battle here. But the army graph, it looks like we've never fought a war until we hired presumably a bunch of stuff and some mercenaries and then lost it all and quit, is my guess. We've got some, let's see. Oh, we never had a throne. Right? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we've never had a throne or claimed it. So if we had 8 more provinces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we had all of our border except for 2 provinces. Interesting. Okay. We've never fought a war. It's turn 61. So that's a bit confusing. All these fights were just against some PD or pinging armies. So you haven't really missed anything. I guess this killed some stuff. So we can watch that one. Go ahead and watch this. I think they're just gonna army route. Oh, maybe not. Okay, whatever that was. Alright, so all of that's kind of confusing. And then my confusion doesn't really end when I look at the research. So we've got a really cool immobile pretender that can teleport on people, as far as I know. Yeah, I don't see anything like the monument text. And we've never researched teleport to actually send it anywhere. Additionally, we have a giant pile of earth gems, and we've never researched enchant 6 to do any of this, like riches from beneath, or even getting statues or hidden in sand, hidden underneath. We did get enchant 5, so we can trade wind our capital if we want. And we can do Ritual of Returning on our Pretender, which is pretty cool, but we can't send the Pretender out because we don't have Teleport. We don't have Serpent's Blessing, which when you have a neighbor like Saramatia is kind of a requirement. So that was kind of weird. We don't have Construction 6, but we never had the fire gems to get the like lanterns really anyways, but that would have been nice. Weapons of Sharpness would have been really good. In Evocation, we stopped at Storm, but we never went up for Wrathful Skies. That would have worked well with our Shock Bless, Shock Resistance Bless. We never got Firestorm for our Pretender jumping on an army. We never got Winds of Death, which you can communion up to as Vanheim. So some of this stuff is missing, and this is a pretty good one for Vanheim. We did go down to Alt 7, which would normally be good with Mass Protection. But we've got Barkskin for our Bless, so we don't need Mass Protection. But we did get Fog Warriors. But if you're coming down to Alt 7 for just Fog Warriors, I feel like there's better 7s you could get elsewhere, potentially. Especially in Evocation, maybe. And then we did go down to Conjuration 8. And I'm guessing the goal there was to get Queens of Elemental Air. But other than that, we haven't done any site searching, so we have no gems to summon any of the stuff in Conjuration 8 with. So, I don't know why we went there. So, this is one where I'm really confused. We presumably had decent expansion with a pretty good bless. And then we didn't do anything for 50 turns. And then we got attacked, we lost a battle and quit, and the research has been kind of weird. So, which, I guess, not to be too down about it, but that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for weird and dire, forces me to think outside the box, and so this is what we're going to work with, and hopefully it'll be fun, and we'll see if this game actually ends soon, like the other players are saying. So I'll see you in turn 62. Have a good one.